In the headlines, troops neutralize 5 bandits, recover 4 AK-47 in Kaduna. Victims of Kaduna train attack struggle for survival 1 year after. Potato sellers in Jos lament low patronage in Ramadan. And away from Nigeria, South Africa's Oscar Pistorius denied parole a decade after killing girlfriend. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. And now we begin the news with security, where troops of the 1 Division Nigerian Army operating in Chikun local government area of Kaduna State say they have killed 5 bandits and recovered 4 AK-47 rifles. Acting Deputy Director, Army Public Relations, 1 Division Nigerian Army, Lieutenant Colonel Musa Yahaya, disclosed this in a statement on Friday in Kaduna. Yahaya said, in continuation of the onslaught against bandits and other criminal elements terrorizing the northwestern part of the country, the troops operating in Chikun local government area of Kaduna State conducted clearance operation on the Kanti Tentatu Road in Kubusu Forest and Kaso Hills General Area in Kaduna State. The commanding 1 Division Nigerian Army and Force Commander Joint Task Force Operation World Punch, Major General Taurid Lagbaja, expressed satisfaction with the conduct of troops and commended their commitment and resilience during the operation. He also urged citizens to continue to support the troops and other security agencies with credible and actionable information that would assist in the fight against the criminal elements. 1 year after the sad event, victims of Abuja-Kaduna train attack are still battling with health challenges, trauma, and unable to cater for themselves, as many of them lost their source of livelihood while in captivity. Now, in this report, Trustee Bello spoke with some of the victims who narrate their ordeal 1 year after the attack. According to them, life has not been the same with them since their return.
I don't know, that was at the moment they shot my brother. He screamed. When he screamed, then everybody started coming out from where he died. He didn't die. They shot him on his feet. I was shot here, and then there was a bullet that passed through here, my hands, everything. It was blood.
Jesse John was among the passengers kidnapped by terrorists on Abuja-Kaduna train on 28 March last year. They said they are still living with the trauma and other health challenges and left alone to take care of medical bills.
2 days of taking medication from the hospital they took us. I've not taken anything up to this moment. No one has ever checked me except my family and the people I call a family too. People that actually got my back.
And then even the treatment that were given to us by the government after our release, I felt like it wasn't efficient enough. So I was still having some sickness in me, like I wasn't feeling too good. I was pale, weak, and experiencing some health challenges.
They said life is biting hard on them as they find it difficult to meet basic demands, but depending on relatives and friends to survive.
Because at the moment, I can remember a few weeks back where all of us are crying because since we are released, things change. We are no more the way, like we don't live our life the way we used to be before at all. And now I'm home doing nothing. So I'm just home. I'm doing nothing. I'm just surviving by the God's grace.
I never expected anything from the government. If it comes, fine. If it doesn't, still fine. I felt abandoned. Yeah, I feel that way. I actually feel that way. I felt like I don't have a right to my own country.
I have a lot of people, but when I came back, I lost a lot of things. There is a project that I'm doing. Before I came back, the project was assigned to another one, to another NGO. So I lost.
Peace Benjamin's education was disrupted after she was abducted though she wants to further her education.
Yes, I also have the financial challenges for everything, because even my school, I still need I need finances to further my school, because things are, like I said, my family have been going through some kind of financial challenges, and that was why I was here, and that was why I think I was involved in this. I was around to involve in this cruel accident. Yes, but I just hope that I find assistance. I don't know.
Several months after these victims were released by the terrorists, they seem to have lost hope from authorities, but believing girls' intervention will come. Bella Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
The recent conviction of former Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu for organ trafficking by a court in the United Kingdom has ignited debates back home about the British legal system. Mardiya Umar speaks to some Abuja-based legal practitioners on the conviction and the possible outcome had the case been prosecuted in Nigeria. The report.
Ekweremadu, his wife Beatrice, and Obino Betta, a doctor involved in the case, were also found guilty when the verdict was delivered on Thursday last week. The jury held that they conspired to bring the 21-year-old at the center of the matter to London to exploit him for his kidney. Since the conviction, so many questions have been raised. Questions like if the ruling was a harsh one, considering the age of the alleged organ donor. Legal technicalities and unnecessary adjournments did not feature during the trial. Some legal practitioners speak on the trial.
No, I do not think it's a harsh punishment, honestly, because their law is their law. What is law in the UK may not be law here. What is crime in the UK may not be crime here. Yes, but apparently, from what you have in the UK, and by the law upon which that charge was based, it's an offense. So be it.
I think that was the first trial that jurisdiction was even recording with respect to that law. I mean, modern slavery and what have you. So it's kind of unique to their jurisdiction, right? So that's why I felt it's not about the person.
Well, I think that we have laws that provide for have similar provisions with like the laws that he was tried under in the UK. We have the National Health Act, we have human trafficking laws and all of that prohibits commercializing human organs. But then the fact that persons, I tried to check up and I discovered that no person has been convicted for it, like in Nigeria, for commercializing human organs.
If he's eventually sentenced, could he be given clemency?
So the legal implication, the ground norm of every law in Nigeria is the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and by the provision of the Constitution, before anyone can contest for any political post, such person must not have been convicted for any criminal offense or any offense that that centers on dishonesty.
It is not about his political might now, it's about him as a person. So the fact that he's convicted, except if there's any law that says a convicted person cannot travel across the world, but I do not think there's any law that will stop him from traveling.
The verdict is the first under the Modern Slavery Act of 2015 in the United Kingdom. Mardiya Umar, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Kaduna State Governor-elect Senator Obasani has said that he will be the people's servant in the state after receiving his certificate of return from the Independent National Electoral Commission in the state. He also assured the residents that he will be fair and just to all, irrespective of religion, ethnicity, or tribal affiliations. The report.
Issuance of certificate of return commenced at the INEC headquarters, Kaduna, with House of Assembly members-elect receiving their certificate. It is the turn of the governor-elect, Senator Obasani, to receive his certificate. Obasani pledged to serve people of the state irrespective of political, religious or ethnic differences through his 7 points agenda.
I will be the servant of the people. I live with utmost sense of humility, responsibility, and fear of Allah. Whether you voted for me or not, you will be given a sense of belonging irrespective of their religious, ethnic, and political affiliation.
He urged the opposition parties to join him to move the state forward, commending INEC for commitment to peaceful election. INEC Commissioner in charge of Kaduna, Nasarawa, Plateau, and FCT, Mohammed Haruna, said the governor-elect, deputy governor-elect, and 29 elected lawmakers were issued certificates of return in the state. According to him, supplementary election will hold for 5 state constituencies following cancellation of the election.
Let me also point out that we will not be issuing certificates of return in 5 constituencies. We will not be issuing certificates of return in those constituencies.
The opposition PDP, however, is still questioning the credibility of the outcome of the election.
But I keep on saying that unfortunately for them, the results have already been posted to the server of INEC. And for them to come and give us handwritten results different from what was in the server is very unfortunate.
The party said it will challenge the election at the tribunal. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Since the conclusion of the 2023 general elections, aggrieved parties have been challenging the conduct of the elections, which many say lack credibility. Although some have tagged it the worst election in Nigeria, experts have, however, urged the Independent National Electoral Commission to learn from the lessons of the anomalies with real-time results transmission on the IREV, among other challenges that hindered the planned successful outing of the 2023 general elections. The report.
Nigeria's electoral process and political party system from independence till date is said to have experienced some level of improvement, with the electoral body embracing the use of technology and the implementation of the electoral guidelines as contained in the 2022 Electoral Act. Despite promises of real-time results upload, there was no stringent use of the IREV portal.
Indeed, we had shoddy organized elections. We had outright rigging. In most cases, you could even be voting and the result of where you are voting will be announced. In most cases, results were written in hotel rooms. That is where we came from. By 2007, the winner of that election had come out to say, the process that brought me is not something that I can be boastful about. And he set up the Justice Uwais Reform Committee, which has some recommendations. But from that process, we started organizing to have a voter register. INEC bought 130,000 laptops, went to the wards to go and, do registration afresh. And then we had a temporary voter's card. After that, we went into smart card reader. We had permanent voter's card now, and then so this is the process that we have come to get to 2023.
Stakeholders recommended ways the electoral body could make a success of every election cycle moving forward.
Instead of having 2 elections, invest more money in voter education and awareness campaigns to tell Nigerians that there are going to be 2 extra ballots beyond the ballot for presidential elections, Senate and House of Reps, that there's going to be 2 more, governorship and state assembly. That way we will save a lot of money and mobilize so much and pay even the security agencies more to be available on that day to do elections. And also, you will keep all the political actors busy.
Nigerians were enjoined to be constructive in their narratives about the elections by not only singling out where the elections failed, but also where successes were recorded. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
You're watching Trust News Update. Coming up after the break, we take a look at a Kano community where water is a rare commodity. Stay with us.
That's great.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. If you're just joining us, you're watching Trust News Update, a recap of our major stories. You heard that troops neutralized 5 bandits, recover 4 AK-47 in Kaduna. You also heard that victims of Kaduna train attack struggle for survival 1 year after. Moving to more stories, Irish potato sellers in Jos, the Plateau State capital, say they are experiencing low patronage during Ramadan, a period when the demand is expected to be high. The sellers tell Ado Musa that unlike before, people are not buying products as expected. Take a look.
Fried or cooked Irish potato is considered a favorite dish during Ramadan fast, but traders in the potato market in Jos said consumption is rather low this time. Before the Ramadan, people were trooping to buy the potato, but soon after the commencement of the fasting, we don't see many people coming to buy the commodity. We are not making good sales. There is change in the market. Before the Ramadan, we sold a bag between 35 to 50,000 naira, but now it's sold between 20 to 22,000 naira. Even with the fall in price, the patronage is low. To me, the situation could not be unconnected to the lack of money in the hands of people, which is affecting the market. According to the traders, the price may continue to fall as some farmers were harvesting the crop, which could possibly increase the supply in the market. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Residents of Kuku village and environs are lamenting living with constant water scarcity for years. The community is located in Kunchi local government area of Kano State. Salim Omar Ibrahim visits the village and turns in this report.
Recently, at least 8 children have lost their lives while trying to fetch water from a well at Kuku village in Kunchi local government area of Kano State. The children have to travel about 10 kilometers in search of water. Lack of potable water to drink and cater for domestic use is the main problem of over 10,000 people living in Kuku village. At least 8 children have died as a result of falling into the well while trying to fetch water. Even the local government is aware of this because we report to them anytime it happens. This well, known as Rijara Alaramma Maiwaki, founded 37 years ago, has been the main source of water for the lives of thousands who relied on it daily. It is measured over 31 yards deep into the ground. It serves as a savior, providing relief for many, though it cannot cater for the pressing needs of thousands of people and animals. This is my birthplace. I used to have a nightmare seeing myself taking water out of a well here. I looked out for a well digger who came to the place and did his findings. Then he said, there can be well with plenty of water, but it's going to be very deep. I told him that I want it to be, despite the work to be done. Kargo, Jodadi, Ngawa, Topawa, Tabani, Dankwai, Tagiri, Guadama are some of the villages around Kuku who also share the same plight. Our biggest nightmare, you have seen it for yourself. This is around 12 p.m. The last time the water was fetched from here was around 4 a.m. I have written myself uncountable letters and took them hand to hand to our legislator. He knew about it. He made promises, but nothing. I went out last night by 3 a.m. to get water. I did not come back until 5 a.m., just when we are about to start fasting. Now, I am out again with my child who will assist me. Maybe by 5 p.m. we can get it and come back. This well was gotten 37 years ago, built as a community well due to lack of water. People were then suffering. This place was realized and we collectively joined hands to get it done. Access roads, healthcare facilities and education are among many other challenges the people are facing here. For a stranger traveling to Kuku, there is all likelihood to get stuck in a quicksand. Water and education is our most problems here. There is a school, but it is not functioning. The teachers are also facing this problem, so they don't have time to teach anybody. While these residents keep hoping that one day all this will be history, the question is, who will be their savior and when? Salim Umar Ibrahim reporting.
Nigerian Meteorological Agency's flood prediction is scary news for residents of flood-prone areas in Benue State. Residents who suffered from the devastation of flood in the state last year begged the government to help prevent a reoccurrence. The report.
Kongba is a community on the south bank of the river Benue in Makurdi. Like other flood-prone areas, this community was submerged in the 2022 flood disaster. The inhabitants are worried about the NAME projection in 2023.
Very harmful on us. We have houses that collapse. We have damages, other damages that we can't even mention. Sometimes we stay in the shops, don't have anywhere to stay, and let's say we are not always prepared. And we are still not prepared if another one should happen. So I'll be obliging that the government should look at this area as a community. We are separate from the Angwanjikun. So if they are looking at us as a community, you know, it will really help us, and it will be like we are prepared if they will speak to us particularly, because sometimes going to hear from other people takes us a long time. So we like the government to look at us as a community, talk to us, visit us, and all of that.
As you can see, this is our situation. Whenever the flood comes, we suffer dearly through the loss of valuables. The simple fact is that we do not have any other place that is our own. We will appreciate if the government gives us alternative space. According to experts, flood is caused by natural factors, though it is made worse by human factors in recent times. They suggested some of the ways to minimize damage during flood.
Makurdi is located along the banks of the river Benue, in the Benue Trough, which is like a valley. So by virtue of its location, Benue naturally will flood perennially. It's a yearly problem. Human activities have made the flooding gradually become worse in terms of the volume of water and in terms of the spread of the water, and again in terms of the level of devastation every year. And so my professional advice to people is most of the people that live along the waterways claim those lands for ancestral lands. So the current thinking in literature is adaptation and living with the floods. And so a few things we need to do will help us to live with the flood to such an extent that the losses will minimize the level of losses from the floods.
12 local government areas were affected in the 2023 flood, with over 100,000 victims. Most of the residents said they have not heard of the prediction and not prepared should the worst happen.
On the international scene, South African Paralympic champion Oscar Pistorius was refused parole on Friday after seeking early release from prison a decade after he shot and killed his girlfriend. The Department of Correctional Services said a parole board found Pistorius had not completed the minimum detention period required to be let out. Pistorius killed Riva Steenkamp, a model, in the early hours of Valentine's Day 2013, firing 4 times through the bathroom door of his ultra-secure Pretoria house in a killing that shocked the world. A parole hearing opened Friday morning at the jail on the outskirts of the capital, where the 36-year-old is detained. Steenkamp's parents, who opposed an early release, saying they do not believe the ex-athlete told the truth about what had happened and has not shown remorse, welcomed the decision. And finally, in sports, Nigeria has won her third game against Ghana by 62 runs at the ongoing Nigeria Cricket Federation Women's Invitational in Lagos. The game at the Tafawa Balewa Square Cricket Oval on Friday saw the Ghanaian team win toss and opted to field. The hosts eventually sailed to 120 rounds for the loss of 4 wickets in 20 overs. Nigeria's Rachel Sampson and Peculiar Agboya did the damage against the Ghanaian side as they limited their West African rivals to 58 for the loss of 8 wickets in 20 overs. Meanwhile, host Nigeria will face Rwanda in the last group game, while Sierra Leone will face Cameroon, both on Saturday. The tournament, which began on Monday, is expected to end on Sunday. And with that, we've come to the end of Trust News Update. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Darshan Husseina Usman. Thanks for watching.